This is Jeb Blunt, and it's Money Monday on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Say make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound.
All right, welcome back. It is Money Monday on the Sales Gravy Podcast, and this one is special. It's the last Monday of the year. Now, this week is the perfect time to sit down and start crafting your personal goals for next year. Before we dive in, I've got some exciting news. In 2025, we're launching a brand new segment on the Sales Gravy Podcast called Ask Jeb. This will be all about you, your questions, your challenges, your agenda, and whether it's about sales, sales leadership, running a business, or basically anything that's giving you heartburn, you'll get a chance to call in and ask me directly. Our very first Ask Jeb episode will be out next Wednesday, so make sure that you listen in. And then it will be out every other Wednesday going forward. Now, the easiest way to be part of the show is to go to salesgravy.com/ask. That's salesgravy.com/ask. Just fill out the form, and one of our friendly producers will reach out to you and get you scheduled to get on with me. I can't wait to talk with you. Now, let's look back over the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we covered the concept of building a personal business plan, how you can approach your territory and sales career like an entrepreneur. It's all about becoming the CEO of you and creating a system and process for hitting your sales goals. Then last week, we dug into reflection versus regret, and we emphasized the power of reflection when looking back on everything that went down this past year. The wins, the failures, the lessons learned, the stuff you want to carry forward, and the stuff you really need to leave behind. Now, today we're talking about your personal goals. These are the things that drive you, they inspire you, and they push you through the tough days. And when I think about personal goals, I typically break them down into 3 buckets: to have goals, to be goals, and to do goals. To have goals are the things that you want to acquire, to buy. For example, this year I set a goal to purchase a new house, and I did. And I also wanted to get a brand new set of golf clubs, which I also did. And whether it's a house, a new car, a swimming pool, or building up your savings, to have goals are about acquiring something that enhances your life. Then there are to be goals. These are about evolving into the person you want to become. Maybe you want to be a sales manager, or if you're a manager, maybe you want to be the director or VP of sales. You might want to go back to school for a degree or an MBA, or you want to be a better spouse, a better leader, or a better peer. Or maybe you want to be a President's Club winner or be recognized as an expert in your industry. Whatever it is, to be goals help you level up as a person and a professional. And then there are to-do goals. These are experience goals. My wife and I had a big one a couple of years ago, going on a horseback trek across the Masai Mara in Kenya. It was a massive, life-changing adventure that we saved for, planned for, and worked for, and it was incredibly motivating while we were leading up to that goal. Think about experiences that create lifelong memories. Maybe you want to travel somewhere special with your family, or take on a meaningful project that you've always dreamed about. Now, there are lots of reasons to set goals. First, goals massively increase the likelihood that you'll actually achieve the things you want. Speaking your goal out loud, writing it down, and being intentional about it has a powerful psychological effect. Goals also make life meaningful. It's unbelievably fulfilling to look back and see what you've accomplished and how far you've come. We also work in an incredibly competitive and tough profession, and it's just plain satisfying to put your commission check, bonuses, and hard-won earnings back into something that improves your life or the lives of the people you love. But the biggest reason to set goals in sales is that the sales profession is incredibly hard work, and it can be brutal. The thing about sales is that it's loaded with rejection. At every turn, we face potential no's, whether it's prospecting calls, asking for next steps, pushing the level up to decision makers, or closing the deal. And we even face internal rejection when we try to sell a complex deal to our own company or get approval for special pricing. Rejection is everywhere, and the fear of rejection or avoiding it is the number one reason why salespeople fail to perform. Now, when you add the grind of making call after call and stuffing data into the CRM and pushing through proposals and handling endless follow-ups to the fear of rejection, sales is a tedious, hard, rejection-dense profession. And for this reason, it requires immense discipline to stay on track and keep grinding day after day and month after month over the course of the sales year. But here's the rub. Discipline can wane. Discipline can fatigue, especially when we're not hyper-focused on a bigger prize. Now, I want you to pay attention to this next part because understanding the real definition of discipline is critical. You see, discipline is sacrificing what you want now for what you want most. And I'll say this again because it's that important. Discipline is sacrificing what you want now for what you want most. And what you want most is easy because human nature wants easy. We'd rather that customers call us rather than having to chase them down. We'd rather that deals close themselves rather than having to ask the customer for the sale and face no. And we'd rather that customers do the hard work for us rather than spending our time on follow-ups. But success in sales is paid for in advance with facing rejection and doing the hard work. Therefore, if you don't have a clear, compelling reason, something you want most, it's easy to cave in and take the easy route instead of doing what really needs to be done. And this is the reason why having a strong set of personal goals is crucial for sales professionals. You need that powerful why to keep grinding when the going gets tough. And when the pipeline is not as full as you like or you're hitting roadblocks, you need something more important than convenience to drag you back into the fight. Now let's talk about how to do this. If you've gone through any kind of SMART goal setting course, some of this may sound familiar, but the basics are timeless and indispensable. To set effective goals, you need to ask and answer 5 basic questions. What do you want? When do you want it? Is it attainable? How bad do you want it? And how are you going to get there? Let's start with what do you want? Now, it sounds simple, but for many of us, we actually haven't taken the time to truly understand what it is that we want. We're so busy being distracted with social media and TikTok and daily distractions that we never pause to think about it. So step 1 is to get specific about what it is you want and define it. Then you have to answer the question, when do you want it? Because we're talking about next year's personal goals, we can keep it simple and keep things in a 12-month horizon. But any truly effective goal requires a deadline or a target date. Otherwise, it's just a pipe dream. When you have a hard date, when you have a timeline, when you have a deadline, it creates urgency and focus. Next, you've got to answer the question, are your goals attainable? You got to be honest with yourself. If all your goals are ridiculously ambitious, you'll burn out or give up once it's clear that you're not really making any meaningful progress. So you need to have a balance between some stretch goals, some big, hairy, audacious goals that drive you, and goals that are realistically achievable. Then you need to answer the most important question, and that is, how bad do you want it? This is the ultimate question. If your goal doesn't fire you up, if it's not something you'll move mountains to achieve, you won't push through the tough days. Remember that discipline means sacrificing what you want now for what you want most. So if the desire isn't there, the sacrifices won't be made. And finally, you need to answer the question, how are you going to get there? These are your steps to success, your system, your process, your roadmap. As James Clear says in Atomic Habits, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And it's really simple. If you have a crystal clear process for what you need to do daily, weekly, and monthly, you'll keep moving toward your goal, even when life gets in the way. This is where your personal business plan and your personal goals intersect. For instance, if your to-do or to have goals require additional income, in other words, you need a bigger commission check to afford that new pool or a bucket list vacation, then you have to hit your sales targets. That means building a disciplined system that ensures that you're prospecting enough, qualifying enough opportunities, following up diligently, and negotiating effectively. You see, without the system and a personal business plan, you are more likely to get random results and less likely to achieve your personal goals. Since this is the last Monday of the year, it's the perfect time to do exactly what we discussed last week. Sit in silence. Turn off the phone, get away from distractions, and grab a notebook and pen. Write down what you want. Write down when you want it. Write down if it's attainable, how bad you want it, and how you plan to get there. Sketch it all out. Just let the ideas flow. Once you've got it all together, build a formal goal sheet. And what I'm talking about is physically writing it all out. There's tremendous power in seeing your goals in black and white, or printing them out and pinning them above your desk. Countless studies have shown that written goals are far more likely to be realized than goals that are just bouncing around your head. This goal sheet is your personal roadmap, and a great best practice is to put it in your personal business plan so that everything stays in one place. Now, I've got a gift for you because I want to make this even easier. I built a course called The Essentials of Setting Winning Goals, and you can find it on Sales Gravy University. In honor of this special week, I'm giving you this course for free. No strings attached and no credit card required. Just go to goals.salesgravy.com. That's goals.salesgravy.com. And when you check out, use the coupon code podcast. It'll zero out the cost, and then you can dive into this comprehensive step-by-step approach to goal setting. And you can use it to build your goal sheet and set yourself up for the new year. Now, finally, I've got one favor to ask of you. Now, this podcast runs on your support. I'm serious about this. We don't have a big marketing budget. You are our marketing budget. So if you love the podcast, please do me a solid. It takes just a second. Give it 5 stars. Rate it 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, iHeart, Amazon, Outcast, or wherever you listen. Just go click 5 stars. And if you have a moment, leave a quick review. Even a sentence is good about why you enjoy the show and why it makes a big difference. And make sure you're following the show. So click follow so that you never miss an episode and you get alerted when we get the new episodes out, like Ask Jeb. And if you really appreciate what we're doing here, if you love the podcast, share it with a friend, share it on social, tell your peers, tell the other salespeople in your company. Look, we've been podcasting for 18 years straight, and we'll keep doing it for 18 more as long as we've got amazing fans like you who tell other people about it, because truly in today's world, word of mouth is everything. So go take action. Sit down and set your personal goals, and then combine them with a strong business plan. And together, that will help you crush the coming year. Have a happy and blessed new year, and I'll see you next time on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
I've been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper.